You'll never guess who decided to show up tonight, and thank Jesus he did. Now you don't have to listen to me give your weather report anymore. Thank God. Because that's right, after recovering from a fractured pelvis, Marco is back tonight to talk about anything but the weather in his weather report. It's going to be a great night, especially because David isn't here either. So let's start our cheesy intro clip. It's time for MU180. The King of Scotland was arrested over the weekend after pretending to be the King of Scotland. What? That doesn't make any sense, you say? Yes, because Scotland doesn't have a king. So why wouldn't that be a man who was arrested for pretending to be the King of Scotland? No, the King of Scotland was arrested for pretending to be the King of Scotland. He was doing a great job of it too, as he somehow found a way to pass new tax laws into effect without having any real power. Where is Scotland? A lot of people forget about Scotland and consider England and Ireland as the only countries in the area. But Scotland doesn't exist. In fact, in a recent poll, the most forgettable country in the world was New Zealand. But right after it was Scotland. Tonight's news is dedicated to Scotland. Moving on to cartoon news, have you ever realized that the crazy people in cartoons are from Scotland? Just take Willie from The Simpsons, who seems to be the most forgettable character on the show. He only shows up when the Simpsons writers need something to happen in the show, but the actions don't really suit any character, so they just decide to have Willie do it. You know, like, that's good enough. All right, well, I'm bored of Scotland, and you probably forgot I was even talking about Scotland because it's the most forgettable country in the world. So now we move on to news straight out of Mashuda Hall, where the jukebox in the dining hall has been playing The Cure's Friday I'm in Love for 9 days straight. Employees say that after 4 days straight, they really stopped caring, especially because more people have decided to stay away from the dining hall because they get too annoyed by listening to the same song over and 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 over again. And of course, the only thing that a Marquette dining hall employee wants is less work. They would want more money, but they know there is no way that's going to happen. So we move on to Thanksgiving, which is coming up, and turkey is hot in demand. The turkey population always sees a sharp decline around the month of November, while in May, the turkey population is overflowing and out of control. November is the month that we are allowed to reset the turkey population in the U.S. Now, here's an idea. Why don't we have Thanksgiving dinner twice a year? It's everyone's favorite meal in the country, and everyone has the exact same thing. Turkey and potatoes and all sorts of that good stuff. Here's a novel idea. If you love Thanksgiving so much, what's stopping you from having Thanksgiving dinner in February or July? Nothing. Except you may have trouble finding pumpkin pie, but I'm sure if you're dedicated, you'll find what you're looking for. Now it's time for Tangent Time, a new segment that will probably never come back and only happen this one time when I go on a fun little tangent. You know that U2 song, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For? What I've always wanted to do, and I'm not kidding about this, is when I go into a retail store or a grocery store and an employee comes up to me and asks, "Do you need any help finding something?" I just turn to them and start singing the song. Begin scene. "Excuse me, handsome, good-looking, extremely attractive person. Do you need any help finding something?" "No, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for." End scene. End tangent. We now move on to the Marquette 3, where every week we count down the top 3 answers to a question about Marquette. This week's question, why is there no Chinese food on campus? And no, Chinese delivery does not count as on campus. At number 3, it's because Chinese food is dirt cheap and doesn't have a lot of profit, and you need to pay big bucks for spots on campus. At number 2, it's because number 3 makes no sense. Marquette Euros probably doesn't make any money unless they have avoided paying their taxes for 8 years. The real reason is because the Chinese students don't want there to be any fake Chinese food like a Panda Express on campus because they don't want to receive emails every day about how they are hiring. In order for Chinese students to keep coming to Marquette, Marquette has to keep out all the Chinese food. And at number 1, it's because Marquette is stupid and should find room to build the most delicious establishment on the planet known as Panda Express. And when we come back, we'll finally have a competent sports report, and Marco will have our weather report. And after all this time, we had the first appearance of our rogue weatherman, Marco.
I'm back, and I'm sure you all missed me. How could you not? I know you all love me. I love me too, and I think we can bond over that. I've traveled over the world since you've last seen me. There were good times, there were bad times. There were times I won't discuss on advice of counsel, and there are times I can't discuss because of legal sanctions imposed by opposing counsel. I just want you to know that I had not a permit or a contract or any kind of written permission or any kind of verbal permission. Look, we had an understanding. No one was supposed to get hurt, but certain things happen that only have one solution, and if I'm the only one brave enough to make the decision that has to be made, does that make me wrong? But enough about me, let's talk about the weather. It's cold outside, but enough about the weather, let's talk about the show. I haven't really been able to watch it because they don't have internet or TV or plumbing or sunlight where I've been, but I come back and I notice some things. I noticed that Gilberto and Trayvon, while not here right now, are still on the entrance role, and that's very PC. I see that we actually have a woman to appear on camera. I don't know what that's about, but if you could get me a sandwich. And then we also, of course, still have No! 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 What did you do with Kevin?
This is my chair now. What are you going to do about it? My chair.
I hate you.
I pushed Kevin off of it.
I hate you.
He just went away. Oh, well, Kevin's gone. The chair's mine. Ha. Ha. I don't care that you hate me. As I said earlier, David is out this week. So thank God. Thanks, Marco, for the weather. And now you finally have me as your sports reporter again for 1 week, or hopefully we can get David never to come back again. But anyway, over the weekend, on Sunday Night Football, Dallas got absolutely murdered by New Orleans. The Saints got an NFL record for first downs against an opponent as Dallas looked terrible. Dallas offense had absolutely nothing as Saints defensive coordinator and everyone's favorite meth addict, Rob Ryan, went onto the field and suited up for the game as a defensive lineman and just started going cray-cray on everyone. Rob then took his entire defensive squad out to Dunkin' Donuts after the game and celebrated by watching Rob eat every single donut in 8 minutes and 23 seconds. Baseball season is over, but that doesn't mean we can't talk about it. Think about what the MLB Network does for months on end. What does the MLB Network do on New Year's Eve at 11 p.m.? What could they possibly air that would even garner 3 people to view the show? However, if they did get 3 people to watch the show, that would still be more people than the entire audience of MU180. Today, the Atlanta Braves announced they are leaving Turner Field, their stadium, and moving into a new stadium in Atlanta suburb after just 17 years. Dear God, now stadiums are old only after being played in for 17 years? Yes. Turner Field is ugly and weird, but it is practically new. What the heck is Atlanta going to do at this stadium with no purpose to it? Maybe Albert Pujols can buy the stadium and use it as a place to store all his money. That would work. But now that I finally get to talk about sports again, I can groan and moan about San Diego sports once again. I know you've missed it. The Chargers have played in Qualcomm Stadium since 1967. It is regarded as the absolute worst. It is literally the worst stadium in the NFL rated by, I don't know, professionals. Like, it's that awful. When people think of Qualcomm Stadium, they usually think of words and phrases like sewage, disgusting, architecture failure. What's a Qualcomm? Doesn't that place only have 14 parking spots? And you can just smell the place decaying. Yet, the Chargers still play there because there isn't any space to build a new stadium, and everyone is too lazy to work on building the new stadium. In San Diego, if it's nice outside, we just take half days and go to the beach. So every day is a half day, which results in very little work being done. Also, we are poor and have no money, and Barack doesn't want to help a friend out and give us any money, so we are stuck playing in football crap. The Marquette men's basketball team won last Friday. After the game, Coach Buzz Williams sent out an email to all the other coaches of Marquette Big East teams, and stated, "You're welcome for the funding for the rest of the year." Unfortunately, Buzz forgot to send the email out to the women's sports coaches because he didn't realize Marquette had sports teams for women. Finally, in sports news, the Jacksonville Jaguars got their first win of the season this past week. Jacksonville was able to sign JV high school starting quarterback Max Rogers to start for the team. He was able to complete a season-high number of passes for the Jaguars. 7! They were also able to get college track star Marlon Beeson to be their running back, who was able to rush for a season high for the Jaguars of 43 feet. Usually football terms are done in yards, but 43 feet was the record for the Jaguars, and that's what their Twitter account read to get their fans excited for the next game. The Jaguars won after the other team, the Tennessee Titans, decided they weren't going to the playoffs and it wasn't worth showing up. So instead, they brought out lawn chairs and opened up some cold ones and sat on the field. Even though the Titans were just sitting on chairs, they still managed to score after the Jaguars fumbled the ball in their own end zone and it went out of bounds, giving the Titans a safety and 2 points. Even though the field was wide open, the Jaguars still found it difficult to score and had many 3-and-out series after colliding into the lawn chairs and inaccurate throws and drop passes. Next week for the Jaguars, they are predicted to get turned into gravy as they go up against a team that prepares to put some effort into the game. And that's it for sport. Gilberto and Jay Quellen are going to be here after the break, so stay tuned. We're back with Jay Quellen with the MU180 Social Report.
Well, thanks, Zach. Now, before I get to my social report, I would just like to say they need to start putting these stupid videos online because apparently my parents think I'm making this up. So I was on the phone with my mom and I was like, "Oh, Mom, I have to call you back. I'm writing my skit." Her response, "Oh, you're still going on with this little MUTV charade?" And I'm saying, "Mom, what charade? I mean, this is a real thing. I'm really on the show." Her response, "Well, me and your grandmother have been talking and we think that you were completely making this up." Are you kidding me, Grandma? You're being such a brat. My own family doesn't even believe me. Like, what do you think? I'm operating under some kind of MUTV guise? It's a real thing, I swear. So apparently they think I'm making it up and to sound like I have a segment, and I don't. But my own mother thinks I'm making up my social status, and I feel like I'm in 8th grade again. So to have to prove to my stubborn grandmother and mother that I'm on this godforsaken show, I have to take a selfie. So here we go. Ready? No, okay, get out of here.
But my face is gorgeous.
No, just get out of here. Anyway, so that proves to my grandmother and my mother that I am on the show. Hopefully her iMessage works. So now on to the social report. If any of you have left your rooms today, you will come to the devastating conclusion that yes, it has in fact snowed on campus and the hellish ordeal that is winter has begun. Consequently, along with the first snowfall, Instagram temporarily shut down from all the crappy, blurry pictures of snow from a stupid angle that all the white girls took. Let the typical white girl tweets and posts commence. Not to be dramatic, but if I get hit with a snowball because of this stupid snow, I'm going to transfer. And I just don't understand people's fascination with snow. Like, if you're from warm state and this is your first time seeing it and you're so enlightened by it, then fine, you get a pass, whatever. But if you're from the Midwest and you're excited about snow, then you're lying to yourself because us Midwesterners know the gross effects of snow. We know that it's not always cute and flurry, and then it turns brown and mushy, and there's clumps of it and everywhere, and it's stuck on your car, and you look at it and you want to cry. Well, newsflash, chick from Cali, it won't be like this from long, so enjoy your stupid Instagram likes while they last. Soon everyone will be fat, cold, and pale, and I'm one step ahead of everybody else in my hibernation process. So sorry this social report is so grim this week, but everybody needs a Scrooge with Christmas coming up, and I'm more than happy to play that role. After this, I'm going to go rip down the Christmas decorations in my hall, and then steal everybody's stockings and stuff. Happy freaking holidays, everybody. Back to you, Zach.
I could have sworn that Jay Quellen is now our weather reporter, but now we'll turn it over to our man in the field, Gilberto.
Hi guys, it's Gil again from MU180, here to report live from a residence hall. I'm going to be showing you guys around somewhere where a typical freshman would live. We'll go see what's around. Now, this residence hall tends to look like it's never ending. as you can see. But the most eerie thing about this hallway in general, about this floor, it's the 7th floor of this building, is that a exorcism has been rumored to have taken place on this floor, which is also very interesting because on this very floor is also where the Beatles stayed when this happened to be a hotel before it was renovated as a residence hall. Now I'm going to go try and find people to see what they can elaborate on that story and see if they have heard anything more specific. Room 725 on the 7th floor of this specific residence hall. As well, these scary occurrences have occurred. There are rumors of stuff happening at night, and none that I can prove correct, but this is the supposed room of where an exorcism took place. One can see that at the top of this door is a lockbox, which shows that something must have happened in this room for them to have to lock this room and not use it as a residence hall room at all. So I'm still going to try and find someone. I'm currently terrified because I've never been this close to something close to an exorcism. So hopefully if I don't pee my pants, I will find someone. Hi, this is Gil. We're here with Dan Henderson, who happens to live in front of the 725 room, which apparently is haunted because of an exorcism. Could you tell us some stories you've heard or some happenings that you think might have happened here?
Yeah, well, every night when the RAs do their duty rounds, they'll come by and they'll just come in here and actually check if the door is locked. They also, just a couple nights ago, DPS came in. I couldn't hear what they were talking about, but then they basically keyed in, looked around with their flashlights, and then they radioed something in, and dispatch basically said 10-4. So I don't know if they were called because of maybe some sort of system went off or something. But there is an air conditioning unit in there that does go off, so it was an occupiable room at one point.
Okay, which is really creepy because I think somebody mentioned that these rooms don't even have windows. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're in the side of the central unit, and then they don't have windows at all.
Which is kind of creepy. Like, why would someone choose to live in a room like that? I don't know. I mean, I believe it. Have you heard anything, like, as you live right there, so, like, have you heard footsteps or, like, maybe crawling? I know you said the air conditioning has gone off, but, like, have you heard anything else, maybe?
Just the other night, we were in our room talking late at night, and one of my roommates thought they heard someone walking across our room. So I don't know if maybe the ghost does live in here and it kind of just walk around the room. Like, you know, who knows? I mean, this was a hotel. Like, people have stayed here from different backgrounds, different pasts. Who knows?
That's really creepy. I mean, I hope it's not true for your sake because you do happen to live right here. I mean, I live on this floor too, but not as close. Thank you, Dan Henderson, for everything again. I'll be reporting from a different part of this residence hall about seeing maybe something else being haunted. Now, whenever something happens like that, not a lot of details can be given out. There's been rumors that people that control the cameras have videos of stuff like this happening, but all of that is just rumor. No one will ever know if the things that we hear are true or not because there's no actual proof. Now, I did get to interview somebody who worked at this building as an RA, but because he worked here, he's not allowed to be seen on camera. But the story he told me was that he happened to be checking rooms, because they have to check rooms every single time before residents are allowed to move in. He happened to be checking one room, and 2 doors down, he says he heard a loud thump and water faucets and stuff turning on, which is completely terrifying. Like, I kind of pooped my pants a little bit. But it's a little concerning, because I live down the hall. I live on the floor where all this is supposedly rumored to be happening. However, I've yet to experience anything, which is completely okay. I am really glad I haven't, actually. I might do some night hunting. So if I happen to not be here next week, you guys know why. But for now, this was Gil reporting from this specific residence hall for MU180. I will see you guys next week. Have a Gil-tastic day.
And they were all naked.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, we're back with Mr. Marco Bichanich, who is finally back.
I hate you.
I don't care. And he recovered from a fractured pelvis. So how does one fracture a pelvis?
Well, it's a funny thing, Zach. Like, there's a lot of ways to do it, and I know there are. But what happened to me was I was in Bangladesh.
Great country.
No.
You must not have been there when I was there. They had a great special.
No, I think that's why it was so bad. You were there.
When were you there, though?
When you were there.
Well, when was I there?
You tell me.
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Okay, we're going on.
I was in Bangladesh.
Okay.
And there's a lot of tigers there. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. There are a lot of tigers
I brought
there.
one back with me.
You shouldn't have done that.
Well,
Okay.
they still don't know that it was me.
It's your funeral.
Whatever.
But I was in Bangladesh, and a lot of tigers there. And I was eating Chinese food. Panda Express, they have those in Bangladesh.
They do?
now.
They don't even have them here.
I know, I heard. So
Milwaukee.
I was eating Panda Express, right? And what happened was there was a group of terrorists, but in Bangladesh, terrorists actually means midget. And so when people started screaming terrorist, 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 I thought there were people with guns, but there were midgets, and it was a circus act. So I got excited, and I ran out and fell over a midget down a sewer. They don't have manhole covers in Bangladesh.
Oh, really? They just like leave them open?
It's just a hole.
Maybe they're just like the bathrooms in Bangladesh. Like you just go in like.
It's a hole in the street is what it is. And I fell down it and broke my pelvis.
Oh. Do they at least have like chairs that you can if you need to use the bathroom, you have something to sit on, or you just got to squat?
I don't know. I didn't go to the bathroom in Bangladesh. You eat Panda Express, and you really don't have to go to the bathroom ever again.
That's true. You just hold it in there for a long time. I mean, the Panda Express, though, in Bangladesh is a lot better than the Panda Express here. I don't know what they do to the food there.
I don't think it's legal.
I don't think so either. I think they put, there's some food that definitely tastes like has meth in it. It's like, I'm addicted to some foods. You know what I'm talking about? Or this is just because I have a meth addiction.
I bet you that's it.
Meth. You ever done meth?
No.
I think he has. Now, tell me about your life at Marquette these past few weeks. How is it getting around campus and classes? I saw you in a wheelchair getting to class. I saw a lot of kids throwing food at you. I don't know how that made you feel. Can you talk about that?
Well, the food made me hungry. The wheelchair, I don't really remember too well. See, what happened was I was in Bangladesh.
But I'm talking about like when you were at school.
Oh.
Did you have a wheelchair at Bangladesh?
No.
Because I heard they make like a lot of good things in Bangladesh.
You heard wrong.
I get like some great shirts and stuff. Like this suit came from there.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It was handcrafted too.
By terrorists.
Midgets. Midget terrorists.
No, just midgets. Terrorist means midget. It would be, I don't know what terrorist is in Bangladesh. I think it's probably something close to Zak, actually.
If a terrorist is a midget, then is a midget a terrorist?
Not that I'm aware of, but I don't really speak the language.
What do they speak in Bangladesh? Bangladeshian?
Sure. Why not?
I mean, we speak American here. Also, what do you think about this girl on the show? That's about it.
She's taken a long time with my sandwich. I don't know why they allowed her on camera without, having her bring me my sandwich.
I guess that's about it. She must still be looking for the mayo. We'll be back next week for a preemptive Turkey Day episode filled with food, family fun, and maybe even a few stuff. Until then, good night, Marquette.